welcome to the show, and before we get to it, be sure to subscribe to us over on our Patreon, where you can take part in episode polls, see Cinema Snob episodes in advance, like sections of our upcoming supersized episode on 1983 in film. That's all over at patreon.com/thecinemasnob, and subscribe to our YouTube channel and click the notification button as well. We've got a 25% off sale going on this weekend on our Cameo page at cameo.com/thecinemasnob, where you can book yourself a shout out, birthday message, ask a question, plenty of options. With Charlton Heston unable to have a Cameo page, I guess I'm the second best option.
So a couple of these are definitely movies that I'm certainly the audience for. I mean, I'm sitting here, 41 years old, and I will still be like, ooh, there's a new Mario game coming out. I'm totally picking that up. Yes, I did buy the Nintendo Switch specifically so I could play Super Mario Odyssey, and loved every single second of it. I remember beating Super Mario Brothers for the first time 3 months ago. No, I'm kidding. It was 1987. It was 87. I remember beating Super Mario Brothers for the first time and just screaming, probably the most excited that I've ever been. Which, that's a terrible thing to say on a show called Brad Tries Parenting. I just screamed, I saved the princess! Like I really did it. Like I physically went through all of these worlds, got past hatchet-throwing Bowser, chopped the bridge, and saved the princess. Like I was physically there and did it. I screamed that off the top of my lungs. I called up my friends and was like, I did it! I saved the princess! It was less charming when I did that during Super Mario Odyssey. My friends, they didn't care as much as they did in 1987. In fact, they sort of felt sorry for me a little bit. Speaking of my dad being a good dad, we went to go see the 1993 Mario Brothers movie when it came out, because me being a Mario geek, like last week when I was reviewing the Dungeons and Dragons movie, and I said that game was like off my radar. I didn't know really much about it at all growing up. Mario, on the other hand, everything Mario related I had like the Super Show, I had shirts, I had the games, all of that. So of course I'm excited to go see the 1993 movie. I was 12 years old. I go see it with my dad. And even then, I'm sitting there like, something's not right. And it's not even the weirdness of it, really, that I didn't... It's not like I was sitting there going, why is this like Blade Runner? It's not so much that. I just remember seeing it with my dad and being bored. And being really, really bored, and it kind of going in one ear and out the other. I've since watched it again, and it is still bad, but now it's kind of enjoyable. It's certainly in a nostalgic sense. Like it's a throwback to just this certain kind of movie and a certain kind of adaptation, especially with the music cues and all of that. So it's kind of got that going for it now, even though the dialogue in that movie is just terrible. And I remember my dad, he took me to see so much. Sometimes my dad and I will get together and we'll just talk about bad movies he took me to go see. We saw Hot to Trot in the theater, and I still love Hot to Trot. I don't know if he likes it as much as I did. I remember this was a couple years ago. I remember saying to him, like, remember when we went to go see Hot to Trot? And he was sitting there, and he says, he goes, is that the one where Burgess Meredith dies and turns into a horsefly? I'm like, yes, it is. He's like, that's the only thing I remember about that movie. So my dad was telling me, and my dad's a big golfer. He was telling me that when the Mario Brothers movie came out, that he and his golfing buddies, because they're all dads too, of kids probably around the same age that I was back then. And that weekend on the golf course, after they'd all had to go see the Super Mario Brothers movies with their kids, it was like this bonding experience for all of them, where they're sitting there and they're saying to each other, did you have to go see it too? Yeah. Did you? Yeah. What did you think of that? Well, I don't know what to make of that. There might be one person there who didn't see it, and they were like, "Oh, I think I'm taking the kid to go see it next weekend. How is it?" Oh, it's not good. So it's just like these guys on this golf course all just like telling horror stories about taking their kids to go see the Super Mario Brothers movie. I'll have to give him a call maybe and ask him if he's gonna go see this new one, or if maybe he and I should go see it just for some old time's sake. Now, this new one remembers the 1993 movie too. There's parts of it where it is kind of a remake, only if it felt more like Mario and not Blade Runner. You know, two down on their luck plumbers are trying to get their business going in New York, and then one thing leads to another, and they find a portal to another dimension. I was having enough fun noticing all the Easter eggs because they do it well. There's a lot of hidden references in this movie, but in a way where if you notice them, great. It's all there, and it's worked in very well into the story. I like the score. The score is fantastic, which brings in a lot of the different themes throughout the games. They update it. It sounds really cool. The voice work is excellent. Charlie Day's great, Anya Taylor-Joy, and especially Jack Black. They all really become these characters. And some of them can be pretty unrecognizable. Like they're so good at these characters, you might forget that it's even them. Except for maybe Seth Rogen, who really is just Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong. But they do give these characters life. They do give these characters life and dimensions that maybe aren't on the page. As for Chris Pratt, I thought Chris Pratt was fine. For as much flack as he's gotten ever since he was cast, he's fine. Would he be my top choice to play Mario? Not really, but there is one thing about it that I actually really do appreciate here, and that's that the movie goes back to them being the old school Brooklyn accent Mario. Like, that's the Mario that I grew up with, you know, Super Mario Brothers Super Show and all that. And at the beginning, it's showing their commercial for their plumbing business, and in that's when he's doing like the "It's a me Mario" like accent, like they're doing it for a commercial. Then when it cuts to them just kind of as themselves, it's back to the old, you know, Brooklyn accent Mario. I dug that. I like that it went back to that. And Chris Pratt was fine at that. I was never thinking about I bought him. I bought him as Mario. I was never really sitting there thinking, this just sounds like Chris Pratt as himself. I wasn't thinking that. I wasn't even thinking about other characters he played. I wasn't thinking about Andy or Jurassic World or Guardians of the Galaxy, Lego Movie, or anything like that. No, I wasn't. I had no problem watching this buying it was Mario. Like I said, wouldn't necessarily be my top choice for the part, because they cast him because he's a name. He wasn't bad. He was good. But the best one out of all of them would have been Jack Black. I mean, the ingredients are all there to make it a pretty straightforward, by the numbers, decent Mario flick. Without it ever really being a great film, it's really fast paced, where it just wants to get you from this set piece to this one, to that one, to this one over here, to that one. It goes by pretty fast. I mean, it's only a 90-minute movie. I could have used a bit more time between these points to where it could breathe a little, because there are very, very good ideas here. Like when Mario and Luigi are sitting around with their family, and it feels like a Mario Brothers version of like the dinner scene from Saturday Night Fever. Like, his dad is just sitting there straight up saying to him, "You're a loser, Mario. You ain't worth shit. Now you're bringing your brother down with you." Like, he might as well have slapped the back of his hair or something like that, or flicked his mustache. "I work on my mustache all day and you touch it." Like, you know, it kind of was like that a little bit. I could have used more of that. They come back. The family comes back later on. I like little moments like that. And when there are those little moments there, they work. And I appreciated that. I appreciated that about the movie. The characters also bounce off each other well, even though I wish it had more of Mario and Luigi together, but you do get immersed in this world. And if you watch the Sonic movie and you dug it, like I liked it, but you could have used more time in the Sonic world, This movie doesn't have that problem with the Mushroom Kingdom or anything. The only times I could honestly tell it was an Illumination flick is when unnecessary pop songs that were already overused as it is turn up. Like, it plays Holding Out for a Hero and Take on Me, and they have nothing to do with anything. They add nothing to the movie. It's just there because, like, oh, it's a song that everyone knows, when the musical score would have been perfectly fine. But it's a straightforward flick. I think people will have fun with it, despite it not being the most clever film in the world. But I'm glad I saw it. I doubt I'll think about it much after. It is a way better movie than the 1993 one. The 1993 one might be more memorable for the wrong reasons. But the new one, I don't know if I'll think about it that much after I saw it. But it was fun while I was there. It's an entertaining B. I guess I like it better than critics do. I think it's getting like kind of just mediocre reviews, but the movie's fine. I think that diehard fans of the game will find something to enjoy about it. Like, I don't know if I'd watch the movie again, but I'd like looking at a list of what some of the different Easter eggs are. So the poll, I did put up a poll, by the way. I put up a poll asking, what is the grade that I'm going to give it? It was a pretty safe guess. A B1. Let me see if I can put it up. Yeah, see, there you go. The B won out. I'm learning new things about this program every single day. I know how to show my desktop screen. Excellent. I'm getting smarter at this, you guys.